Dva, to je dvojka.
6.
Počkej. Jednou.
Yeah, thanks.
2/3/4. Sedm, 4, 1. Já se pole.
Nastoupí na středu. Jsme večer neviděli.
Si le vent est moins fort, même plus de vent du tout. Je répète ma poésie.
Now to the start of the lead of laps. After the start gate will be the extra. Necelých 5 minut nám v tuto chvíli zbývá do startu úvodních účastníků, Hoková velmi dobře naladěna pro následující dění, která Hoková Ševálě-Bušová, Anaís Ševálje-Buše a první launa, která už za malou chvíli zaujme pozice.
Welcome back to Novе Место. It's the final day after a fabulous 2 weeks of racing here in the Czech Republic, and the athletes are taking part today in the mixed relays. First of all, it's the mixed relay itself. 2 women this time leading out, then followed by 2 men. In the afternoon, it's the single mixed relay, all tallying up for the grand total score. The last 2 races, relay races of the season. Have a look at the track. It's 2 kilometers. You see the undulations, which of course the athletes are well accustomed to, and a total climb of 171 meters, only 6 kilometers, so the shortest race for the men in their calendar today. And without doubt, as always, we see in this race many changes, some surprises, often surprises, and I'm sure we'll get much of the same again today. The IBU have been fantastic from beginning to end of the season. We're coming into the last week, next week, testing, but unfortunately, new coach Matti Nilsson, former athlete, has joined the Swedish team, and he's been found to have COVID. So, as a precaution, showing no symptoms, all the Swedish coaching staff today are being held back. So the athletes who are not racing will be on the range. A new experience for them, guiding their teams today. Norway, look at that lineup. Ekhoff, Roysland, Terje Bo, the Bo brothers, followed by Johannes Tingesbo. Is that the winning team? Many would say it is. They ski so fast. 25 teams in all. United States and Canada, they've had a long rivalry in this race, and often they can reach up as far as 8th, 7th, 6th in this particular race, and all the way down to the lowest ranked Moldova in 25th position. So the athletes, as always, they've been through the procedures of testing the rifles, centering the rifles for today's weather conditions, for today's wind, and well, they're well used to that by now. It's routine, and racing, as always, for Tiril Ekhoff. She's taking the lead out today, followed by Roysland, Terje Bo, and Johannes Tingesbo, again, as always, put on the anchor. A safe bet. The Russian team, Kaisheva, Kazekevich, Loganov and Lachipov. We've seen some good results from this quartet, a winning team in Oberhof, but finishing 9th at the World Championships. And France, they are believers. When it comes to relays, they know with a little bit of magic on the range that they can challenge for the top position. Austria, for the first time, taking a world title in this event. In World Cup, in fact, or World Championships, first time on the podium, so Austria must be feeling good. And Sweden, although the coaches are not allowed to be in the stadium or around the track, the Swedish team, the athletes are fine. It's all been cleared, and they are ready to go. Germany, Vanessa Hintz, Denise Herrmann, Arndt Pfeiffer and Benny Dole taking up the anchor. They must feel that they have a chance. Their form has picked up since the World Championships. Bib number 7, Vlaško, Zima, Artem Prima and Dmitry Produshny. It's a good team, and so often the Ukraine team are the best on the range, and that really does matter today. Italy, with the increased form, or the improved form of Dorothea Vera taking second, Vitozzi first, Dominic Vindisch third leg, and Lukas Hofer, with his recent success, taking the anchor. Borut Nunar, as always, starting. The race director has got them underway, so organised. The procedures are good. They know their time to gun, and they work back from that time to get themselves organised. The tracks, they have been sorting the tracks here. I think the organising committee in warm conditions have put on a brilliant show. A lot of work, a lot of volunteers. And the tracks again, Fowler is at the French team. That's a terrible start if that is the case, and spare poles required quickly. That's a major setback within, what, 150 metres of the start. And I suppose that is one aspect of the tracks here. The curves and twists and fast descents. There is always risk of a fall. We saw it yesterday. And the athletes involved, Nisanen, she did come through to shoot well and continue on her journey with a decent time, even falling off the edge of the tracks. And it was Anaïs Ševálje-Buše. So did she just trip over? I didn't quite see that. The athlete behind maybe clipping the front of her ski, bringing her down, and these poles break easily. They take a lot of force through them, but when you take an impact to the side, being carbon fibre, they do break. And major setback. We'll have to wait and see how that affects Ševálje-Buše. I think she'll be fine. It's the athletes, when you get to this stage and age in your career, you've had setbacks, and you just have to rebuild again, compose yourself, and try not to let it affect your race. So Tiril Ekhoff, right side here, bib number 1. What an incredible season she's had. She had a brilliant summer in preparation, and then, of course, there were questions, will the races get underway with COVID setbacks? It has, and now she finds herself with 12 World Cup victories. I think the rest of the field will respect the fact that her pace is always strong, although she has learned to calm down a little on the first lap. And I doubt that any athletes will want to challenge and try and push ahead of her. The bibs, as they come into the range in a couple of minutes' time, they'll all file into the range and go to the range, which has their number, their bib number. And then after that, it's an open range where you find yourself coming into the range. That is the shooting mat in which you will slot into. So just under 3 minutes, everybody's on the track. I think Anaïs Ševálje-Buše, there she is. She's working her way through. So the setback, although at the time would have felt terrible, she's composed herself and slowly working her way back up through the field. May put some tension through her actually as she comes to the range. Oh, another faller. Maybe bringing... Oh, that's an unfortunate place to fall. And I think it is the important part of the rifle. The butt hook has fallen off, so that really will affect her shooting. She'll need to, I think, pick up the team spare. So Ірина Кривко from Belarus, worst possible situation right now, and she'll be a little panicked. Now, let's see what happened. It's a little lumpy and bumpy here, and it was the deep snow that just completely took her by surprise, and her weight was forward. No getting out of that one, and I think that was Poland. Clever, quick reaction move there to manage to get round the fallen athlete. Oh, what a real shame. I think that was Hoynish who skipped around. I had the Belarus with Kривко, Krushenkina, Varibai and Smolski. I had those four as a contender, an outside chance for a podium today. Well, you may have seen the weather, the rain. It has been changeable the last couple of days, but the athletes, they're used to it. Summer or winter, all weathers, you can shoot, and you need to, in these sort of negative conditions, you need to get out there and make sure you can still control yourself and the accuracy of the rifle. Well, that looks like Kривко is coming back towards the field. Will she go straight to the team spare? Every team has a spare weapon on the range, and you must collect it yourself. Will she risk a team spare? She probably doesn't know yet that the end part of this rifle stock, the butt hook, has snapped off, so she may well get onto the mat and then work her way back to pick up the spare. So Tyrolekov leading in, but no real separation further down the track, all separated by just 9 seconds. Kisheva in lane 2 for Russia. Ševálje-Buše lane 3. Stuic for Austria in lane 4. Well, Sweden, are they missing their coaches? 2 missed shots already, but not the case for Norway. Tyrolekov, as we're beginning to expect, has gone out 5 out of 5. Russia, 5 out of 5. Ševálje-Buše just feeding the last of the rounds in. So Elvira has 2 spare rounds to go, 2 targets standing, down to the last shot. You always feel a little more tension, a little more pressure on this last shot, and big surprise for me, Vanessa Hintz in the same situation. 1 shot left, 1 target standing. Terrible start for the German team. Vanessa has been on decent form. Oh, thankfully that went down. So all teams bar 1, and Kривko, I thought, did very well there, given the fact she fell and damaged the rifle. Tyrolekov, business as normal, same procedure as always, same outcome as nearly always, and it's the perfect 5 out of 5. Switzerland out in second place. Kadurish, always fast shooting, and great to see Canada in 3rd place. Look at the lowliest ranked team. Moldova in 4th place. They have brought in a few ex-Russian athletes who haven't quite made it to the level in the Russian team. And so they have created a team around some good biathletes. Well, these tracks are now really deep in terms of the snow depth. Parts of the track have been salted. And as they make their way on the second lap of 2 kilometers, just an update. Has anybody been on the penalty loop? Nobody, but Marie Eder from Finland, 53 seconds behind. And that's in last place, 25th position. She had to use all 3 spare rounds. Glashko had to use all 3 spare rounds. That's after a rifle break. I think she did an excellent job to put all the targets down, having had that fall. Often you get snow or ice crystals in the sights when you slide along the snow like that. So she did very well to clear all her 5 targets in that kind of scenario. Great to see America up there again. Claire Egan, 10 seconds off the pace. Todorova, Bulgaria, 12 seconds behind. Bendika, Latvia, 10 seconds behind. So nice to see some of the lower ranked teams producing the goods there first time in. Well, the athletes are very accustomed to this climb now. 23% gradient as you exit the tunnel and climb up this wall. Oh, Vanessa Hintz, she looks like she's had the spirit taken away with taking so much time on the range. So Germany finding themselves down, a full 43 seconds behind. Frustrations when the spare round doesn't go in easily, and losing all the time, losing so many precious seconds. Well, Tyrrell Eckhoff handing over to, not yet, but Marta Olsbu-Reuschland, who was the overall World Cup leader last year, hasn't quite produced the goods this year, but Reuschland still skiing very well, and just marginally dropped off in terms of her fabulous shooting scores last year. Well, here's the chasing group led by Kaisheva from Russia, Stuic from Austria, 3rd place, and Claire Egan now working her way from, what was it, 8th all the way up into 4th. Very quickly around the 2-kilometer track, and it was 4 minutes 54 the last time, or the first time they came in for the prone shoot, and now they're coming in for the stand shoot. As always, you have 5 shots in your magazine in the relays and 3 spares which you can then hand feed should you need them. You must also fire all 5 rounds. We have seen one case this year where at the World Championships an athlete didn't feed, the Swiss athlete didn't feed all the spare rounds and left the range with a target standing and was penalized with a 2-minute penalty. So you have to fire all your shots should there be targets remaining. Any targets missed, it's turn left, you don't go straight out, you turn left onto the 150-meter penalty loop. Tyrrell Eckhoff has opened, it was 8.2 seconds lead she had, and as always this season, so composed. She's opened it up a further 1.5 seconds, just under 10 seconds lead into the stand shoot. She did have a good long look down the range. Our brain will have read that the wind is reasonably strong from the left, 5 to 7 kilometers an hour wind pressure. Fabulous, not a shot missed from 10 shots fired. Not a target missed, I should say. The rest are left looking almost like beginners with a high standard, the class that Eckhoff has this season. Kaisheva, fast and accurate. A little surprise, Stuic missing some rounds there, and Vitozzi. She missed 2 initially, but she's got them down with 2 spares. Fialkova, Slovakia, strange. In these damp conditions, it's slightly more difficult feeding the 5mm wide bullet into the chamber. And luckily got it down there first time of asking. Vanessa Hintz, she's had to push the pace now on the track, so therefore adding more pressure. She just doesn't look relaxed, doesn't look comfortable. Tension really doesn't help the steadiness or the flow. So far, so good. One spare used, one of the three remaining targets put down. Finland struggling alongside Marie Eder. Oh, Vanessa Hintz going to be down at 20th, 21st position. Should she get this last shot? And way off the pace. This is not the start which the German team hoped nor expected. And you can just see the energy. Engelbert on the left there. Cannot believe the poor start that his team have had to this mixed relay. Ekhoff going well, though, with a 14-second lead ahead of Russia. So great news once again for Norway. So job done on the range for Tyrell Ekhoff. And, well, she was taking 4 or 5 seconds off for the closest rivalry, Kaisheva, last time around. I think she may well, Ekhoff may well open up the pace to try and increase that now to 18, 19, 20 seconds. The Austrians, with the confidence from the World Championships, second position silver medal in this event. They've been planning it for a long time. The women's team traditionally was the weaker of the two, but now with Stuage and Lisa Theresa Hauser at a much higher level, that was the key which opened the door to the silver medal at the World Championships. Well, Kaisheva, it is up to 20 seconds already. I thought maybe by the end of the hand, or up over to the handover, it might increase, but Ekhoff will probably take another 3 or 4 seconds, getting a brilliant lead to hand over to Roysland. Blaszko, her shooting scores have been good from Ukraine. That's bib 7 we saw going through. Öberg, without the coaches on the range, it's just the athletes scoping and going out throughout the zeroing. So it's a new feeling now for the Swedish team. And 25 just attacking up the steepest of climbs, having left the tunnel. Zilenko. Now Ekhoff, you can just feel the energy. She is trying to maximize the space between her and the chasing pack. Now just further down, just trying to find where the French team, it was a broken pole for Chevalier-Buche, but all of that's behind her. She's 27 seconds behind and in 5th position. Ekhoff in full flow. Final climb, then a fairly shallow descent into the stadium where Roysland is waiting to be handed over to. Tired legs at this time of the year, and they'll be so looking forward to the end of the season. That won't be in their minds as Ekhoff comes in clearly ahead and on a different level this year. So 15:35, leg number 2 underway, and a safe handover. Kaisheva, just the ski speed has let her down this season. Often her shooting has been very good, and handing over to Kazakiewicz. Vitozzi. Well, this is good news for the Italian team. Dorothea Viera, who really has picked her performance up. The next athlete, the first of the two men, Vindish, and then Lukas Hofer as the anchor. Now that's a good team and possible for a podium position, maybe even the win should the Norwegians miss some targets. Well, Sweden without the coaches behind the scope, it's going well. In terms of the numbers, 8th position, 45.8 behind. But remember, Norway do have that very positive 27-second lead. Just making her way up to the line is Jessica Gislova, the local athlete. And Czech Republic 118 behind. They'll be disappointed. They've been hoping so much for success here. Andre Ribar on the range. We've seen him tense and frustrated at times during the 2 weeks of racing here. So as the second leg athlete underway, we're going to take a very quick break. We'll be back in just over a minute. Welcome back. Reuschland underway, and I can tell you she has increased the lead. It was 30 seconds at the handover, sorry, 27.3 at the handover. She's lifted that to 30 seconds, and here's the chasing athletes. Russia, we've got France and Italy, not side by side, but one behind the other on the way around to come in for the first day of the two shooting bouts, and in the prone position. Dorothea Vera there in third place in this chase group. Her form really has come up, and she needed it. She has been the previous 2 seasons the overall World Cup leader, but it hasn't gone as well as hoped this season. She admitted recently in a little interview that, well, she did have a lot of commitments, endorsements throughout August, September. Very quiet summer initially, so she had great training, but then a few distractions leading into the season. As she said, it's her job. She has to go through with it and run with the popularity and the fame in which she carried into the summer, having had such successful World Championships at home. But it does come at a price. Distractions as a biathlete, it's all about focusing, about trying to center yourself, being totally in the zone and ready for what's to come. And right now for Reuschland, it's a great lead, and the Norwegian team are leading the overall World Cup mixed relay score. Today the 6th race, this race the 7th race, which counts, and later today the single mixed relay. So 8 in total, and Norway leading with 307 points ahead of France with 272. A little adjustment there. The wind flags, it is still from the left, as always is the case here, and she's adjusted her sights accordingly. Well, little surprise there, slight delayed reaction through the trigger there, and you can see the splat up at 10 o'clock on the edge of the hit ring. No problem, rapidly spare round put into the chamber, and accurate. So maybe just 5 seconds lost there. That was such a quick feed of the spare round into the chamber. So opportunity now for, well, I was going to say for Italy, but Vera has missed one. Opportunity Russia, and then the last shot missed. So possibly Austria, Switzerland, Poland, the USA a chance to come through. Vera, she's lost that positivity, the magic she's had for many years of rapid shooting, 5 out of 5s. She's hesitant, she's holding back a little, and that's causing her to miss some shots. Others, look at the wind now. That's it's so unlucky. You can be 10 seconds later, you get a gust coming through, and it makes your job to hit these targets so much more difficult. All sorts of adjustments going on there for Austria. Schweiger struggling to get these targets down. Job done in the end there. Switzerland, and often we saw Switzerland last year managing to surprise many in their performances in the women's relay and in the mixed relay, but they're struggling initially today. What can Denise Herrmann do with Vanessa Hintz having had a really poor start, unexpectedly down in, 18th position? In fact, she dropped back to 21st position, 157 behind. Herrmann has shown the last couple of races. She's had 2 second places in the 2 weeks of racing here. 1 spare round required. I believed in her. She believed in herself. Well, can she bring them back into the race? She can certainly move forward by a few places, but nearly 2-minute deficit is a huge margin on this great Norwegian team. So just an update. Well, interestingly, Vera, having 1 spare round as well, has pulled it back from 30 to 28.3. So Italy in 2nd place. That's very good news for Dominic Vindish, who really has improved in the last couple of weeks. His World Championships weren't strong. Lukas Hofer, 3rd place last week, has to be feeling good. So maybe it's a day for the Italians. France just ahead. Buche. And there's Russia. Kazakovic trying to stay with the pace. In terms of ski speed, she's marginally weaker than the 2 ahead of her. And America, another very good performance in the relays. Joanne Reid, there she is. 45 seconds adrift, but look at that, there's only 20 seconds off 2nd place. And that's the positivity that she'll be carrying around this next 2 kilometers. Magnussen, the Swedes, without their coaches, it's okay. They've gone from 8th up to 6th, 56.4 behind. Zook, 101 behind. And Schweiger, we saw Schweiger, there she is, just chasing Belarus there. We saw her struggling on the range, but eventually getting the shots down. So for all the hard work on these tracks, you do get this section of quite a long recovery. Your breathing is being managed. You're getting some recovery through your legs. Yes, you're having to work around the fast descents. And we have seen 2 falls already on this course. So you have to be aware all the time. You're having to read the terrain, especially you can see the soft snow just bottom right of our screen. Sometimes it takes you by surprise. So Doro, as she's called, leading now, just moving ahead of Buche, who really is on good ski form. Anna Magnussen tucking low, trying to get as much pace carried out of the tight turn there. Well, Buche having none of it. She's moving ahead. She obviously wants to slot into lane 2. Reuschland still last count 25.9 seconds ahead. There she is, just working her way along the 30 lane range. she'll be looking at the flags. Not quite as important to get a good reading of the flags and standing, because you feel it through your rifle. For the pinpoint accuracy of prone shooting, golf ball size targets, you need to be aware, because that wind really does influence the fall of the shot. When she wants, Roysland can shoot very fast. Maybe in the wind today she'll hesitate, but she's not. Rapid fire. Beautiful central shooting. Oh, at least 3 of them would have put the golf ball size target down. Incredible shooting, and especially that wind was quite strong, 7-8 kilometers an hour. You can see the flags there from the left. Well, that's closed the door and maybe broken some spirits here, but right now these 3 biathletes from Russia, Italy and France will be concentrating on process. Dorothea Vera, her old magic is just dropped away a little. Golden rifle or not. But again, like prone shooting, the first time of asking, she's managed to get the plate closed, so Italy now moving with some margin into second place. Breza-Boucher taking her time, 2 spare rounds. That's the cost of using 2 spares. Look at Russia. 2 rounds left. Kazakovich, look at the tension, the fear, the panic. This has to count. Oh, as if it wasn't aimed. She's on the penalty loop, so Russia now really dropping away from what looked like a very good start to the relay. That should put the Russians down maybe 5th position, 6th position, if Austria can get this. And they have. They've got the target down, so Austria now moving up into 5th place. Russia probably dropping to 6th. A lot of penalty loops now for Poland. Oh, that is painful. Is it the ski pace? Is it the wind? The wind is certainly playing its factor for this part of the range from lane 15 to 30. There seems to be much more wind influence affecting the rifles. And the veteran Selina Gasparin from Switzerland. 3 targets standing, now 2 standing, 1 shot left. She's on the penalty loop. Ideally, she wants to make this one count. Oh, panic and almost restricting the flow there. When you panic, you read the targets. You've got 1 shot, you've got 1 target, and fear can take over. Well, good shooting there in the end from Dorothea Vera, moving up into 2nd place, 43 seconds behind Breza-Boucher, 52 behind the Norwegians. What a fabulous cushion, what a lead now Roysland has built in for Tarja Bø coming up next, and Tarja will be handing over to Johannes Tingesbø, who has found some of his old spark. And I saw him joking around yesterday, some footage of him happy again. So he's found his happy, and let's hope he's found his happy through the rifle for the rest of the season. And the rest of the season is only next Friday, Saturday and Sunday up in Östersund. Busy weekend as Breza trying to close down on Vera. She may well manage to achieve that before the handover, and Vindish will be taking over from Dorothea Vera. Excellent from Joanne Reid again. Plodding away, keeping the American team in a wonderful position there. Ahead of the Swedish team, a 4th position, and a real chance now as we get further down the track for the Americans with Jake Brown next and then Leif Nordgren. That's a good team. I'd love to see them on the podium today. Tarja Bø. 11 seasons of World Cup racing, and he's found his magic again. 3 victories this season, many times on the podium. And he's picked this game up. He's got all these young Norwegians nibbling on the edges, nibbling at the opportunity to jump into the World Cup should there be any weakness from the great Norwegian team. And that seems to have remotivated Terje Bø to find some of his best form we've seen for many years. So Norway, as expected, they ski so fast, but the shooting has been excellent today. 32 minutes, 1 second, and it's the first of the two men. The men will ski the same distance of 2 kilometers and the same shooting process. Prone first and then standing. I thought Boucher would have a good attack, a good chance to catch Vera, but Vera showing towards the end of the season she's finding her best skiing. Maybe not the best shooting she's had, but the form is coming back. Now there's Vindish lining up. Simon Détieux taking the third leg for the French team. Silver medalist in the sprint competition at the World Championships. Now, let's have a look at the time. It's going to be, well, just over 50 seconds, 50.4. And a good clean handover. You've got a 30-meter zone there in which you have to physically touch the athlete you're handing over to. And then the process after that, the transponders come off, your rifle gets checked. Safety procedures. Well, the athletes carrying out the coaching staff duties, so it's a different feel at the side of the track for the Swedish team. And great to see Sweden there in 4th position, given the setbacks they've had. The head coach, Johannes Lukas, not here, not on site. He's available by phone, with Matti Nielsen having joined the team recently and unfortunately tested positive. That's only affecting the coaching staff, but the athletes are flying the flag well without the coaches.
About 50 seconds behind the second.
Welcome back. The action now. It's the first of the 2 male athletes taking part on their first 2-kilometer track prior to prone shooting. Terje Bø still over 50 seconds lead. In fact, he's extended it just a little. A couple of seconds extended it ahead of Vindish for Italy and Détieux from France. Looking very comfortable there, France, in 3rd place. The dark clouds in the sky. There's been such changeable conditions over the last couple of weeks. Heavy snowfall, rain, plus 15 degrees at times. But that doesn't affect Tarje Bo as he's coming in, just checking the wind flags. And seems to have picked up again 4 to 7, 8 kilometers an hour, the strength of the wind. He's aware of that. The World Championships, the recent World Champions, are in first position. Slightly low that first shot, and the second low right. Oh, very much low right. More central. Job done. Fabulous shooting. Mazet is happy. We've seen him frustrated a number of times. I wonder if they'll suggest a change for Johannes Tingesbo in terms of his sighting or his sight adjustments based on that performance from his brother. I would say it would be a safe bet to lift the sights up. Maybe that will happen. So, no hope, not even a sliver of hope there to close the gap of 50 seconds from Vindish and Dithieu. Dithieu just having a good look before he hides behind the blackout. It didn't work, he's missed the first shot. So has Vindish, and the second for Dithieu. Third, 3 misses in a row. He looked like he was questioning himself. He's adjusted the sights now. Well, this is really giving a great opportunity to Jesper Nellen. France are on the penalty loop. Dithieu, silver medal at the World Championships in the sprint competition. He hit 10 out of 10 on that day. And he's on the penalty loop. Whether this goes down or not, it did go down. He's got 1 penalty. Vindish took an age there in the range, allowing Sweden, without their coaches, to come back in and move into, I think, second place. Yes, because Italy and France, no, Vindish actually, sorry, has gone out. He managed eventually to get them down. So Sweden, from 8th up into 3rd, 126 behind. What a turnaround. That's why so many love biathlon. So much can change in a short period of time. And never did I expect that from Dithieu today. 141 into the range at 52 seconds behind. Exiting the range 141 behind. America, all targets down, 2 spare rounds required. And the home team, we're hoping for so much. Mikulas Karlik, what a fine talent he is. Junior World Championships silver medalist. He's looked good throughout all the season, and especially at the Junior World Championships. Oh, and the range that he knows so well has not worked out for him. And the factor is, look at the flags there. It really has picked up to 15, 16 kilometers an hour. And it's the gusting that is making it so difficult. Tarje Bo was very lucky when he came in first place, 50 seconds ahead of the rest. Then the wind seemed to pick up. Nice pictures there of Tarje Bo adjusting his sights into the wind. His fall of shots were a little low, but 5 out of 5 is good enough. What a massive lead it is today, 120 from first to second. Very rare do we see such a huge margin. And when we have seen huge margins, there's more to lose. And we have seen in the history of biathlon some athletes really struggling with that kind of lead, but the Norwegians are in such good form, both skiing and shooting, that it's very unlikely that that scenario will happen with many missed targets. Dithieu, his skiing is good, the shooting wasn't. I wonder how that's going to affect Dithieu's mind as he skis around his second 2 kilometers. Certainly plenty thinking time as to what went wrong. So Norway, the World Championships gold medalists, so far ahead, dominating the season with Johannes Tingesbø and Lagerud in the men's race. In fact, 3 Norwegians at the top. And in the women's field, much the same, with Tiril Eckhoff having a fabulous season with 12 victories. So they really are on a wonderful vein of success. Findish dropping, it was 120, now pulling back actually. He really has attacked this middle lap. He's got it down to 115. Again, the wind is being very kind to Tarjei Bø. Edge, 9 o'clock. Wild. Look at the end of the rifle. There's an element of movement. He steadied himself there. Just one spare round. You can see the mark on the edge of the target at 9 o'clock. Well, he had to work quite hard to get that one. Mazet just checking with Patrick Oberegger, just noting down what happened there. They'll debrief Tarjei later. Seemed like he went through a little nervous moment there for me. Began to think about that incredible lead of 1 minute 15. But he's away. 2 kilometers to go, and then Johannes Tingesbø will take the anchor for Norway. Findish. We'll be aware that Sweden and Nellen only, 5 seconds behind. You'll hear him coming in alongside him right now. So Italy and Sweden, with France just entering the range now with Dessieux. And Russia coming back into the race, with Loganov just coming in. So surprisingly, a couple of shots missed there. That was a good window of opportunity on a calm wind session. So Vindish, great job. And Sweden without their coaches, athletes on the scopes, athletes around the track, those who are not racing today as backup. Dessieux, that was brilliant. He made up for his problems in prone shooting with a rapid 5 out of 5. Loganov. Love the way he moves the rifle so much, so it really is reaction. Watch this, he goes from left to right and snatches. It's not working out. Oh, so much movement through, but he was doing that last year when he had a much more successful season. Oh, that is horrible. He'll be feeling so down about 2 penalty loops. 8 shots fired, 3 targets hit for Russia. I'm sure there'll be something to say on the debrief later about that performance. Loganov really did come in fast. He was attacking to try and close down, and Loganov did take Russia up to 5th position, but dropping a long way back now, probably down to 8th or 9th position. Well, Sweden having a fabulous day. Didn't start so well, or as well as they'd hoped. But you can see them coming through now to 3rd place. Just, 4 seconds, 6 seconds ahead of France. So Johannes Tingesbø is all prepared and ready, as has been the case for many years. His older brother handing over to him, and Johannes Tingesbø so often been put on the anchor leg, the leg where, if it comes down to the speed required in the last lap, he's got it all. He's got the turbochargers ready to press, and often has taken Norway from some way back to the podium, and often to the top of the podium. Jesper Nellen has had some issues in terms of his own individual races, but lifting his game today without a doubt when it comes to the relay. The World Championships, the older brother to the younger brother. for the final leg here in the mixed relay in Нове Место. Шевальє-Буше must have gone through a couple of little nervous moments there when he was trying to get his last shot down. But as expected, job done. So Jesper Nellin has pulled, well, 3 seconds back. And the anchor leg, Martin Ponsiluoma for Sweden. He is the world champion in the sprint competition. Something of a surprise maybe, but we always knew with Ponsiluoma, he skis so well. The day he hit 10 out of 10, he has a real chance to win, and that was the case at the World Championships. Vindish really attacking up the final climb, wanting to give a little lead to Lukas Hofer. There's Lukas Hofer, vastly experienced, and I was so happy to see him on the podium once again. Nervous moments. And the anchor leg is really from each. Yes, you need a good starter, you need a good second leg, you need a good third, but you need a very reliable anchor leg. Hofer is that man for Italy, and Ponsiluoma for Sweden. Second and third place. And Dichu lost his way when it came to prone shooting, but found his magic again in the stand. So France still in the race in fourth place. Welcome back. The last leg of the mixed relay. Phil Maillet there, fourth place. His form has been good. He's created some magnificent performances over the last couple of days. First in the sprint, first in the pursuit. He's only missed 2 targets out of 30 shots fired. Well, Johannes Tingesbo needs to be careful. He doesn't get tangled up there with Slovakia just handed over 2 kilometers behind effectively, but Johannes will now come in for his prone shooting, so Slovakia will get a 30-second lead into their first lap, and Johannes Tingesbo's second lap. What a lead Johannes Tingesbo has. It's 1:21 ahead of Lukas Hofer in second place, and Ponsiluoma third place for Sweden, 1:22 behind. Phil Maillet slightly detached in fourth place at 1:33. He's building his position and getting rid of all the tension. Maybe 17 seconds to the first shot, and it's low at 6 o'clock. That was slightly low. The others were fairly central. I'd expect a first time of asking. Great job. The wind was a little tough there, varying from 12 kilometers an hour down to 6, so the variable conditions maybe played a part. But Johannes Tingesbø had no real threat. Look how far this gap is coming into the range. I would imagine it's increased from our last time check of 1:21. I was thinking at the start of today maybe Fillon Maillet could make it 3 wins in a row with his great performances, the sprint, the pursuit. But a lot of work to do should he want to take the win here in the relay. So side by side, Lukas Hofer. 3rd place in the sprint this week, 5th place in the pursuit, missing only 2 from 30, the same as Fillon Maillet. Quite a challenging wind there. Again, it's that theme of variable wind which moves the rifle around. No problem at all. 5 out of 5, rapid fire. Lukas Hofer safely in 2nd. Ponsiluma, he took a little time. It was only 1 spare round. And Fillon Maillet, bad start, missing his first. Composed himself well, but he didn't manage to make a gain there, close the gap. He's losing more than gaining. Okay, no problem. 1 spare round required. Begrushny in lane 4. And Leif Norgren, the American, still doing very well alongside him. The big surprises today, need to give you an update. The Russian team in 9th place, and the bigger surprise is that Germany are still down in 14th position. Haven't been on the penalty loop, 3:39 behind. Well done, America, just almost shot for shot there. So 5th place, America, as they exit the 7th shooting phase, but followed very closely by Ukraine. Austria, silver medal at the World Championships. David Komat's just shooting now. I think it's safe to say the Austrians, without Lisa Theresa Hauser, there's Russia doing much better. Without Lisa Theresa Hauser, without Simon Eder, they're racing later in the single relay. Without them in this mixed relay, it is a weaker team. So Johannes Tingesbø just taking his time initially in the setup, and 1 spare round required. So Lukas Hofer, you can see the time there, gaining 9 seconds on Sweden on Ponsiluma. And Fillon Maillet hoping for a gain, but his first shot missed, cost him a number of seconds. Can't believe the speed at which Johannes Tingesbø covers the 2 kilometers. So up into the range area, the stadium area, for the second last time. This time, still a shoot in the way of the finish line, and it's in the standing position. Just looking at the previous shooting times, Johannes Tingesbø, 43 seconds, so he is taking a long time with his drop in confidence in his shooting. He takes a long time building his position, and using the spare round also costs you a number of seconds. Ponsiluma, it was 9 seconds. He's definitely hauling that down, and always looks so relaxed. His father was a great cross-country skier, 6th place I think it was in Albertville, 1992. I was there. I remember watching him racing by, and Martin Ponsiluma has that same efficiency and great genetics. And that's an on-form Lukas Hofer ahead of him. Big moment. And he's had many big moments for Johannes Tingesbø. So happy to see all five go down. He's got his feeling back through the rifle, his old rifle coming back out of the cupboard. And job done. Another win for the Norwegian team. In fact, Johannes Tingesbø, with 3 more races to go next Friday, Saturday and Sunday, could actually just back off a little. All the athletes are so tired now at this stage of the season. Big pressure moment now for Lukas Hofer, for Martin Ponsiloma alongside him. And Fio Maillet, often he can, from stop to shooting 5 shots to start again, he can do it in 21 seconds when he's on form. Will he risk it today to try and get France onto the podium? Lukas Hofer, in terms of shooting speed, for me, probably a little has an edge over Ponsiloma. Well, almost shot for shot. In fact, Ponsiloma 12.1. Lukas Hofer was 13.2 to the first shot. Hasn't paid off for either of them. 1 spare coming up for Lukas Hofer. Excellent. He needs 10 seconds. He may well get it because Ponsiloma has missed a second. Oh, 1 shot remaining, 1 target standing, and it's maybe putting off Fio Maillet alongside him. Right, the chase is on, really is on. Fio Maillet could have done with getting 5 there, then the chase really would have been on for the 3rd position. Ponsiloma now has a real fight to close down on Hofer. It's unlikely over the 2 kilometers. And Fio Maillet, what's it going to be? 12 seconds, maybe more? Well, 11 seconds to try and close down for a podium. It's not impossible. So, Klima on leg 3, Pegrushny on leg 4 for Ukraine, and really has shot so fast just to get a little gain there ahead of the USA. Quick feed in there from Leif Norgren. Very stable, very fast. He knew that Lachipov coming in alongside him can shoot fast. Well, so I think Leif Norgren is safe now in 6th position. The ranking is the bib number they wear, so the United States team 12th in 6th position. It's a very good day at the mixed relay for the Americans. Pegrushny just ahead, by 9 seconds, then Fio Maillet 4th. And the chase is on from Sweden. And I think he'll be having a real go, Ponsiloma, to try and close down Lukas Hofer. It's unlikely, but he'll be trying. Johannes Tingesbø, fabulous shooting, especially his stand. 1 spare in prone shooting. So I think that Johannes Tingesbø, for the final World Cup, the big journey on Monday, and the final World Cup in Östersund, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the sprint competition, the pursuit competition, and the high-pressure mass start next Sunday. He's got his shooting back. His ski speed, we know, is always there. And he will be feeling more confident. Tirolekov, she doesn't need any more confidence. 12 wins, and the streak of wins she's had recently, so much enjoying her biathlon. And I think she's the only female biathlete out there that doesn't look exhausted. So Norway, rank 1, coming in well ahead of the field, over a minute ahead of the field, to take the title here in Нове Место in the mixed relay. It's a team effort. Tirolekov, Marte Olsbu, Royschland, Tarje Bø, and Johannes Tingesbø. I just felt yesterday, Johannes Tingesboe, the day before, he smiled a little more. He's been more relaxed out there. And, you know, carrying fear and tension in when you come to shoot doesn't work. Nobody was going to stop Lukas Hofer leaving the range in second place to cross the line in second place. Fabulous day for the Italian team, ranked 8th, finishing second. Lisa Vitozzi, Dorothea Vira, Dominic Vindisch, and a very safe anchor with Lukas Hofer. Well, his third position has been a long time coming. 2-3 days ago in the sprint, and then a very respectable 5th position, missing only 2 targets yesterday in the pursuit, and today 2nd position in the mixed relay. Well done to the Italian team. Well done to Lukas Hofer. Smiles all round. And without their coaches, the Swedish team were zeroed by their fellow athletes. And around the track, they had limited support because their coaches have all been kept away from the trackside. But they've managed to achieve a wonderful 3rd position. France, it started bad with a fall in the early stages from Chevalier-Buche. Breza-Buche was safe and good. Simon Détieux lost his way a little on the range. Fio Maillet could do nothing about it. So France in 4th position. Ponsaloma, he really tried to close the Italian down. But in fact, he lost some time. Ukraine coming in. Well, Ukraine, they were so unlucky a couple of times at the World Championship, finishing 4th twice in relays. But from 7th, finishing 5th today. That's a good news story. And well done, the American team. Leif Norgren, safe and secure as the anchor leg.
Not entirely sure, but I think that's the...
So the big names, or maybe the historic big names of Russia in biathlon, it hasn't gone well again. It's going to be a 7th position, and further back with an awful start to the German team. Benny Dahl still working his way towards the finish, last seen in 9th position. Well, the Russian team, where did it go wrong? It went very wrong with Loganov, 2 penalties in his standing. 1 previous penalty had been achieved, so their shooting let them down. And Austria, silver medal at the World Championships, 3:17 and 8th position today, but in a slightly weakened team with no Eder and no Theresa Hauser. They race later in the single mixed relay. Germany, it was an awful start. They tried so hard, but could not pull that close to 2-minute deficit down on the first leg. And Belarus with a broken rifle initially. I think they did very well to hold on to 10th. Now is this in celebration of Moravits retiring? Moravits decided that traveling and missing his family, that he should retire. And Kretschmar crossing the line there. An exhausted Kretschmar in 11th place. 1 penalty loop, sadly, for the Czech team today. Although it's their national base, their national centre, it hasn't gone well on the range. So Czech Republic and then Canada, Japan, 4:52 behind.
The Bulgarian team, far up the rankings in the ladies.
Bulgaria, unfortunately, couldn't start in Oberhof after Christmas. One of the support staff had been infected, so the whole team, the athletes as well, were quarantined for a couple of weeks. So that's why they're wearing bib 24. They missed some of the races. So the tail enders coming through, Switzerland not having their best day in 15th position. Well, that's the action. There's confirmation. Norway, Italy, Sweden, France tried but didn't quite make it to the podium. And a very good day from United States of America in 6th position. Germany, it's one to forget for the German team, also for the Russian team. And you see how many teams there have been lapped. Johannes Tingesbo has found his magic again. Well, that's it for now for the mixed relay, and later you can see Central European time, 13:45, an exciting single mixed relay. Some of the big names have saved themselves. The Austrian team with Simon Eder and Lisa-Theresa Hauser, maybe going into the single relay as the favourites. Hopefully we can see you then for the action coming up a little later. Goodbye for now for the final race of the second last World Cup coming up later.
Biathlon